Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dusted on Gaming, back with our Promised Engine deck we haven't worked on in a little while. This deck is you taking traditional Jun Shell, pairing it with cards like Faithless Looting to kind of increase the amount of power you have in getting through the deck. You're also playing a bunch of random special type cards like Bitter Blossom, Tarfire, the ones that are tribal plus instant, enchantment plus tribal, planeswalkers, Whip of the Erebos, that's both a artifact and an enchantment, all trying to set up being able to cast a fairly reasonable Emrakul the Promised End, usually for 5 or 6 mana in best case scenario. This deck also has Grim Flares and Tarmogoyfs. Tarmogoyfs get quite big when you have basically every card type in your deck, and then Grim Flare allows you to have a 4/4 pretty easily that pressures your opponent and their planeswalkers while also giving you card selection. Rest of it's your typical Jund deck, Inquisitions, Terminates, Dreadbores, Abrupt Decays, Maelstrom Pulses, Lilianas. You have a small traverse package. You have Courser of Crucifix to give you some card selection, life gain in the main deck, Shriek Maw to kill non-black creatures, Walking Ballista, good against smaller creature decks, also good for having an extra card type as well. And then Emrakul as your ultimate kind of game closing bullet. You also have 1 of Scavenging Ooze for Graveyard Hate and a little bit more life gain. And then you have Tarfire as your pseudo Lightning Bolt. Obviously it's a little bit worse, but does have the second card type, which enables your Delirium for Traverse, enables your Delirium on your Grim Flare, also enables a much easier Emrakul the Promised End. Beyond that, you're running 21 lands to go with the 4 Traverse to give you access to usually about 25 pieces of mana, which is usually right around where Jund runs. Sometimes it's a little awkward to have to traverse on turn 1 for a land, but as the price you're paying to run Faithless Lootings and Traverses for your deck for a little more card selection. Sideboard's a little bit of work in progress over time. The Cold Guns commands used to be in the main deck of the original build by Pete Ingram, but moved to the sideboard. Obviously, these are very good grindy cards. Could come in against Affinity, could come in grindier matchups. Golgari Charm. Card has a lot of different modes. Can kill Blood Moon, can regenerate your creatures. Good in matchups where you have a lot of creatures that have X1, X1. Things like Lingering Souls, etc. Tireless Tracker is kind of part of your anti-graveyard hate package. That and Bitter Blossom. These 3 cards kind of come in matchups where you suspect your opponent's going to have a lot of graveyard hate for your Delirium package. It enables you to cut down on things like Emrakul. You're less reliant on Tarmogoyf and Grim Flare. Gives you 2 Bitter Blossoms and 2 Tireless Trackers, as well as potentially a Huntmaster of the Fells. Close out games where your 2 primary beaters are kind of negated. Phyrexian Revoker is a tutorable Pithing Needle effect against things like Jace the Mind Sculptor or Nahiri, which if you don't have one of your 2 drops on the board, can be very hard to pressure otherwise. Anger of the Gods, your sweeper of choice against the fast aggressive decks like Zoo, Affinity, etc. Warren's Weirding is a tribal. Also, it's an Edict effect, so it can be reasonable against Bogles if they don't have their Leyline of Sanctity in play. Collective Brutality for matchups like Burn. Also, more controlling matchups. Some combo matchups like Storm. And then Thoughtseize wherever you need more hand disruption. So, been a little while since we give this deck a spin. The only true change since the last build was we added a Dreadbore over, I believe it was a Nameless version. I remember last time out, we were lacking the ability to deal with Planeswalkers. Basically had a Maelstrom Pulse and then pressure on the board, and that was it. So we added a Dreadbore over the Nameless version. It's possible one of these Starfire should be something like a Fatal Push to give more things against stuff like other Tarmogoyfs, etc. But we're going to roll with this, see how it does. Hopefully we will have good results. So take it through a league. So, hope everyone's doing well. School's now out. Just finished up the last bit of schoolwork, so we'll be able to make quite a few videos here going forward. Anything else about the deck overall? I mean, obviously, it's kind of a departure from traditional Jund. You're not running Bloodbraid Elf. You might have a little more late game power, but you're also a little more inconsistent in terms of, like, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. You have Faithless Looting, give you some card selection. You don't have Dark Confidant, so you're more reliant on your pressure in the early game. You are more of, for lack of a better term, the Death Shadow variants that were popping up that were Jund based, only without the Death Shadow. You got your Grim Players and your Tarmogoyfs to basically close out the game in Game 1. Game 2, you have other threats, obviously. It's possible that some of these Tireless Trackers should be in the main deck. Like Tireless Tracker in the main deck would be perfectly reasonable. This Courser being in the sideboard's possibly correct. A lot of different things when you're dealing with the card like Traverse the Uvenwald that you have the possibility of doing, and sometimes you gotta toy with this deck. But it's definitely been a labor of love. It's a deck that I enjoy playing, although it doesn't usually do particularly well. It's kind of ironic. So I think between this and Naya Soul Sisters are like the two decks of other viewers that I've randomly picked up. Viewers or other brewers that I picked up that I just kind of like the feel of the deck. Like there's something there, but you can't quite get it to work out completely right. Sure, opponent, good luck. Yeah. Hand seems fine. Go. Okay. Maybe laugh if we're kind of up against Jund again. It might be. This could also be Hollow One. Yep, Hollow One. Hollow One was not a deck that was especially popular last time I played this. Collective Brutality and Burning Inquiry. I think we take the Burning Inquiry. Wise opponent's got Street Wraith and Collective Brutality, I guess. Sure. See if they use their Collective Brutality here. Nope. Their Flameblade Adept. Wow. Those are quite some draws. So, problem is if I cast Grim Flare here, all we're going to be doing is letting the Grim Flare die. So I think I'm kind of priced into Faithless Looting here. Scavenging Ooze. Have an Inquisition in the graveyard. Is Liana going to really do a whole lot here? Probably not. So probably can afford to bin Bloodstained Mire. Liana maybe? Gives me 1, 2, 3 card types in the yard. Yeah, basically dead here. if there's anything in our deck that we can go get right now. So, I think we're going to pack it in. Don't have a ton for this matchup. Definitely want the Angers of the Gods. This is not really a Bitter Blossom matchup. Not really a Walking Ballista matchup. Not really an Emrakul matchup. Other cards am I not? Tarfire's okay against certain things. Am I interested in Huntmaster? Maybe. There's a whole lot of maybes going on here. Better Blossoms, Thoughtseizes, that. Warren's Weirding, not really. Suspect Liliana of the Veil is not particularly great. I'll go ahead and get these Tireless Trackers in here. Other card is reasonable against them. Is it just Huntmaster? Maybe. We'll keep it, but it is a little against a 6. Keeps their hand. Scries to the bottom. Alright, so what am I getting here? Go ahead and get Blood Crypt. Get Basic Forest next turn. See what you got going on over there. Lightning Bolt, Faithless Looting, Bloodghast. Wait, yeah, they did mulligan. So I don't particularly care about Lightning Bolts right now. Of their Faithless Looting, because it's a card that probably means the most for them. Okay. There's the swamp. Faithless Looting ourselves. Obviously we want to hit lands, so Tarmogoofy and so what am I binning here? It's one of the fears I had of actually. Liliana's not that particularly great. I know I want these two, so obviously Shriekwell is an answer to Hollow One mainly. So which one do I bin here? Decisions. Pass. Possibly I should have played the fetch land here. So we know they have Lightning Bolt. See if they draw land here. Guess they could conceivably have... It's not a bad one. Let's play Tarmogoyf and go. See if you have a Fatal Push or something. Nope. Alright. Does being on the draw change how we want to sideboard? Probably not. Excuse me. Still possible that this Emrakul is just too cute. The rest of the packages, like the Revokers, the Ballistas, I like most of what else is going on with this deck, other than this Emrakul just feels so oddball sometimes. Like... I don't even know what kind of hand on the draw I should be looking to keep, especially when they're actually keeping 7. Like, I mean, we could get easily Burning Inquiry here, and, like, no matter what we kept, it wouldn't matter, so... Might be Burning Inquiry, might be Faithless Looting. Okay. Yep. Probably looking at a turn 1 Hollow One then. Ay, 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 ay. Alright. See if we can disrupt them at all. Wow. That's a hand. Next turn, they get to go Gurmag. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So, okay. That's a hand. I mean, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here. Sometimes just Hollow One has draws like this, you're just like, sure. Like, I mean, we got lucky to win Game 2. Game 1, we kind of felt like we were in for a little bit, but then it was just like, nah. Part of the reason Hollow One's a good deck. Yeah. Sometimes they just have draws where, you know, you have double Hollow One on turn 1. Especially when your opponent, like, delves away their entire graveyard, and then you're sitting there going, my Tarmogoyf was big, and that's not. think this hand's fine. It's not great. Could potentially brick and die on lands here. Oops. So, draw our one of basic mountain. So, pitch Liliana and Terminator Inquisition. Don't really want to pitch the other Faithless Losing right now. Opponent's like, what the heck's going on over there? Of course. Would not be fun if we're up against Pox, that's for sure. Yep, takes our Faithless Looting. Makes sense. Play that, pass. At least that potentially enables us to Courser next turn. Either Courser or Flashback Faithless Looting. Okay. Yep, we're in the weird bracket. I think we're up against Saffron Olive's wonderful Burial Rates deck. Traverse. Looks like we're gonna go get a Tarmogoofy. Tarmogoofy, that's his name. Actually, I could have gotten a land, I guess. Yeah, let's just get a Tarmogoyf. Get our beatdowns on. Please don't have Fatal Push. Nope. Another Satyr Wayfinder. CA. Burial Rites. Don't tell me you have a Fatal Push too. Sure, either Courser or Inquisition there. Another Tarmogoofy. Okay. Battle of the Graveyards. Whose is more important? Yeah, Lingering Soul is great. Got chump blockers for days, man. Huh. Flashback Lingering Souls here. Get rid of Inquisition and Tarfire. Play this. Presuming I'll just go chump here. Eternal Witness, what, rebuying Fatal Push? Sure. Mm-hmm. Six card types, 7 card types. Yep, I'm full of surprises over here. Paying that. Okay. That's cute. That's frustrating. No second black mana for Liliana. Otherwise, this would be a very easy turn. Battle Kettle. Yep, you've got a Battle Kettle. Kill one of them. Take the hit from the other one. Bloodstained Mire, huh? So next turn we're probably going to get Resto Angel, Siege Rhinoed. So need to be a little bit careful. Go fetch a basic swamp here. Liliana. Down 7 card types. Guess we just get back a Tarmogoyf here. Play out the Tarmogoofy. Son of a gun. Yep. Opponent having multiple fatal pushes is extremely annoying here. Yep. Yep. Ring Souls. Grim player. Not even sure what we could draw here that would even matter. Past our opponent here. Kinda gotta take the Rhino hit. Oh. Just have another Siege Rhino. Sure. Tarfire. I don't think Tarfire is gonna get there. Alright, I mean, if our opponent hadn't hit that third Fatal Push, we might have been able to aggro them out with Tarmogoyfs. Decisions here. Probably want the Tireless Trackers. Might want Kolgan's Commands. Maybe. These are pretty big maybes. Liliana the Veil, not particularly good in this one. Emrakul is interesting, but I don't know. Alright, we need Golgari Charm as kind of a hedge against Lingering Souls, perhaps? Maybe we're supposed to go with the Bitter Blossom plan. I don't even know. Anger, I mean, obviously cleans up their idiots, but it doesn't really... Like, Lingering Souls is going to be an obnoxious card either way, so... It's really the fatal pushes that kind of bailed them out that game. keep, I guess? Like, I'm not even going to cast this Faithless Looting right now. Let's play out Raging Ravine, go. Flare. Decent chance this Grim Flare just dies, right? Yep. Because why wouldn't you have Fatal Push in your... I have every Fatal Push deck. Seriously? Okie dokie. Yep. Siege Rhino and Siege Rhino. This is going to be a fun one. Bin a land. Do I really want to bin Shriekmaw right now? Probably. Doesn't get me any closer to Delirium though, so my Traverse is still not turned on. Oh great, now they get to start playing Battle Cattles. Past our opponent here. Yep, we're in a lot of trouble. Another Battle Cattle. Yep. Hey, Bitter Blossom, right on time. Yep. Seems about right. Every time you play a mid-range deck in this format, it seems like you get paired against the matchups you don't want to see. I mean, basically Hollow One's one of the Jund mid-range's worst matchups, and then basically just played against Abzan, a bigger version of Abzan mid-range, so not exactly the best matchups for a deck like what we're trying to play. Reminds me why I only pick up this deck once in a while. Thoughts so far, Emrakul should just probably go. Find some other top-end threat here to run. Beyond that, Swip's probably too cute and mana intensive. Like, yeah, just get rid of this. Maybe Courser in the main. Get a couple Tireless Trackers in here. Maybe, I'm not sure what else. Just feels like these cards, if the games go long enough, these two cards can take over games, but it's like, we rarely ever get to 4 lands. Like 5, 6 lands even sometimes is pretty impossible. Especially for a deck that's even specifically designed to get to that point. It just doesn't seem worth it. Alright, I mean, for the deck that we're playing, this hand is very land heavy, but we're going to go ahead and keep it. Sure. Don't even care if I know the information at this point. Take both of our threats. Probably dies to a bolt, because that's how our day is gone. Nope. It's amazing in and of itself. Not sure what's going on over there yet. Probably Mardu Pyromancer. Be my guess. Especially March Flats plus Faithless Looting here. Emrakul, the Promised End. See if we actually get a hint in with this Grimflayer, or is it just gonna die to a Fatal Push? Yep. Meanwhile, if this Emrakul, the Promised End, were anything else but what it is, Liliana the Veil, sure. We'll fetch a forest, play around Blood Moon here. Scavenging use, huh? And probably should just go ahead and eat this Faithless Looting. Don't want our opponent to improve their hand at all. Guessing you have a Kolaghan's command here, just for the ultimate. Wow. Yep. It's been one of those days. Traverse the Uvenwald. Is there anything even worth going and getting here right now? Probably not. Grim Flayers, a Courser of Crucifix, a Shriekmaw. I mean, I can get a Tarmogoyf, but it's just gonna die. Why would you even play Faithless Looting there? Sure. So if we top deck an untap land, we can kill your Liliana. That's not an untapped land. I mean, it sort of is, but isn't at the same time. Let's go ahead and play the swamp out. Pass. Please don't have drawn. Are you freaking kidding me? Guess if you have the Fatal Push, I can go to the next game. Sure. Let's pass. Presuming you have an answer to Grim Flare, right? Answer to Tarmogoyf. Yep. Okay, if you have Bolt, you have Bolt. I mean... Yep. Past her opponent. Presuming you have another Bedlam Roller here. Of course you draw the hand protection spell before you play your next Bedlam Roller. That's a card. Hopefully you don't discard Lingering Souls and make me hate my life. It's really debating between their two cards, aren't they? Okay. Discard a Bolt. So I'm guessing you're holding on like 2 removal spells. Why wouldn't you keep Bedlam Reveler though? I don't understand that, but whatever. Kolaghan's Command. Shoot Liliana, get back Bedlam Reveler. Seems like a plan, I guess. Past your opponent here. Hope you drew blanks, I guess. Yep. Okay. Don't think we're gonna start winning from that point. Alright, so... Okay. That one can go out. That one can go out. Actually, Whip might be fine in this matchup. Excuse me. Really interested in Bitter Blossom. Really interested in these Anger of the Gods. Interested in this Golgari Charm. Interested in these Tireless Trackers. Interested in these Kolaghan's Commands. Cards am I not particularly thrilled with? Guess it's Whip. Shriekmaw's okay, but not great. Tireless Tracker, Anger of the Gods, Maelstrom Pulses. Problem is, like, most of these cards have situations where they're reasonable. Ballista can be okay. Shriekmaw's okay. Take these Inquisitions out. And then what other card would I be interested in? Shaving Atar Fire. Try it like this. So I'd like to play first. Sure, we'll keep this hand. Basic Forest, Traverse. Go get a Swamp. Yes, I know this means I can't play my Anger of the Gods right now. Alright, means we're going to get to establish a Bitter Blossom, which is nice. Past our opponent here. Please untap Black Source. Please untap Black Source. Guess I should have been more specific. Grab another one of those. Play that as our land. Pass the turn. Okay. Terrifier, not a bad one if we ever actually guess you're gonna have to Fatal Push now. Feels bad, doesn't it? Pass to our opponent here. One thing about it, at least this is an interesting match, unlike the last two whitewashes. Definitely a lot to think about. Hope you play like Blood Moon here. Sure. So you have to give up your whole board just to try to kill this Liliana. Only I don't think you realize I just have another one. Past our opponent here. Okay. Sure. Dig in for bold, I guess. Past your opponent here. Need to start drawing red mana sometime soon. Yep. Not sure what the other black mana is for. Traverse. Decisions, huh? So I could grab Shriek Maw, which doesn't really solve our long-term problem, but I guess it's the next best thing. Kill your young Pyro. Flashback looting, sure. I think you might have mistapped because if you draw a Reveler, you're not going to be able to cast it this turn. Of course, you have another young Pyro, right? Yep. Here are the 2 lands. Turn Goofy. Let's take care of that. Do I risk going to 6 here? Can I close out the game fast enough? Very, very, very grindy game. Which I mean, now we're semi-racing our own Bitter Blossom, but we do have... what? Did I bring in? Did not bring in Huntmaster, so the only source of life gain I have is the... okay. Leyline of the Void. Good to know. Scoos is a good one. Start getting some life here. Pass. We're gonna lose a Terminate, but that's alright, I guess. Wow. Able to outgrind. Huh. Am I supposed to bring in something like Huntmaster of the Fells? Maybe? Question would be over what? Maybe a Kolgan's command? It's actually quite probable that Liliana of the Veil is not good in this matchup, so go ahead and do it like that, maybe? Hand's fine. Or if we both end up boarding out our traverse, go get a forest. Obviously, if our opponent has push, they have push. Don't particularly care about that. Yep, sure. Sure. Opponent maybe playing out Lingering Souls here. I'm just planning on getting Tarmogoyf back. Guess I'll just go ahead and pass with Kolgon's command. Way if they play something like a young Pyro, I'll just be able to answer it. Liliana of the Veil. Sure. Discard Faithless Looting here. Discard a Bedlam Reveler. Interesting. Turn target creature. Do that. Target that. Black. Start grinding through these Lingering Souls. Tarfire, huh? So, fortunately, I'm not going to get anything off of our. Let's go ahead and Dreadbore this. Take care of that. Use our Tarmogoyf here. Pass the turn. Hopefully you don't have another Liliana. Feels like I have no idea what this is. Okay, sure. Fine with that exchange. Tireless Tracker. Opponent has one card in hand, huh? Good. Faithless Looting here, I guess. Bitter Blossom and Tarmogoyf. Get rid of Tarmogoyf. Get rid of Tarfire, I guess. Pyro's annoying. Grim Flare. No. If you want to kill my tracker, you're gonna have to use an actual spell. Don't tell me your last thing is Lingering Souls. Nope. Hard cast Bedlam Reveler. That's obnoxious. Alright. Traverse for a land. Attack with this Grim Flare. Land, Tarmogoyf. Can go in the yard, that can go in the yard. Okay. Definitely keeping a Tarmogoyf on top. Okay. Pyro, sure. Flashback Faithless Looting or Kolaghan's Command here. Goblin Rabble Master. It's an interesting one. Anger of the Gods. Verdant to the graveyard. Do this. Do this. Right. Play out this Tarmogoyf here. Pass the turn. Not gonna really matter here, friend. I mean, we're actually gonna get there? I'm in shock. Well, discards 2 lands, that makes sense. Alright. Oh, that would have been even worse. At least for them, anyway. Would have had roughly the same effect. Alright, so we got there in kind of a grindier matchup against Pyromancer. Way back here in 1 minute. That was a pretty awesome match. I think the things I'm starting to learn is that the Traverse package itself is not bad, but this Whip of Yerbos and Emrakul have just got to go. It's possible this Courser should go too. Definitely move the trackers to the main. Gives you the almost optimal build. Like you have a little bit of hedging in the main deck. Courser may even be too cute for the main deck. I'm trying to think what other creatures you'd want in the main deck. Like most of the good hate bears are white colored, so that's not really a consideration. I don't know. Definitely attached to the card. Maybe it's supposed to be like 2 tireless trackers. Kolaghan's command in the main. I don't know. Yeah, keep it. A little bit slow and clunky, but I mean, turn 1, planes. Okay. Planes Ether Vial. Alright, so some type of humans deck. Just supposed to bite the bullet in Inquisition here, probably. Probably should have gotten a red source there. That's a bit of a punt. Alright, so it looks like we're up against mono white humans. This opponent has a Brave the Elements and some planes. So you don't draw anything here. I think I'm just supposed to Ballista kill your dude. Brave is just color, right? Yeah. So mono white humans. Alright, so hit for 1 here. Guess we'll see what they... take the hit here. Obviously they don't have any other humans. Just gonna play Walking Ballista and kill this. Alright, so play this Walking Ballista here for 1. go ahead and get that off the board. Pass to our opponent here. See what they've got. Okay, Elite Vanguard, sure. Probably the only card they have in their hand. So I could traverse for... Huh. Gonna take quite a bit of damage the next couple turns, which kind of sucks. Alright, so... Alright, so traverse for Blood Crypt, play Blood Crypt. I guess Swamp does it too. Holy Honor of the Veil. Sack your dude. Not gonna do any good to actually tick down on their hand right now. They had raised the alarm that could get us here, but they don't, so. Because if they had raised the alarm, they would have played it when the Champion of the Parish was in play. So we know one of the cards in their hand is Brave the Elements, and at least one more Plains. So we know 2 of their 3 cards. Sideboard for this matchup. Got the Angers of the Gods. And potentially the Brutalities. Next turn we can traverse for Goyf or Grimflayer. This is what this deck does when it's actually hitting on all cylinders. But this is probably a fairly decent matchup for us, so I like playing a Plains there. Alright, so traverse, go get a Goyf, play out Tarmogoyf, take this up, probably just binning this Faithless Looting. Alright, so Tarmogoyf's still 4/5. Opponent's got Brave the Elements, 1 unknown, probably a land or a path maybe. Nope, no path. Okay. Soldier of the Pantheon. Which is ironic, because if we would have had, go ahead and force them to use. Just take this Inquisition. So they didn't even use Brave the Elements. Okay. Tarmogoyf, start pushing your luck. Go grab another... What am I grabbing here? Probably just another Tarmogoyf, right? Play another Tarmogoyf. See if this draws the concession. Runaway Humans is a pretty interesting deck. Probably should pull up a list, see like what kind of stuff the deck is running. Brave. The Elements. Mono White Martyr. So, Mono White Humans. Do. Don't know. So, okay, I'll just scooped it up. So I'm looking at cards like Return to the Ranks and such. Get this out of here. Get this whip out of here. I think this just tells me all I need to know about what cards I do want and don't want. Bitter Blossom is okay, but probably not great on the draw. Golgari Charm, if they don't have Thalia's Lieutenant, it's pretty reasonable. Anger of the Gods is pretty reasonable. Probably want these Tireless Trackers. Probably interested in this Huntmaster of the Fells. Definitely interested in these Collective Brutalities. So what cards am I not interested in? On a draw, Liliana of the Veil is probably a little too slow. Courser's okay, but their creatures can get too big potentially. Shriekmaw is okay. Is Ballista too small, perhaps? Maybe. And then... is Golgari Charm too goofy? No, we want to leave it in case they have Honor of the Pure too. Dude, maybe it's Maelstrom Pulse, or it's either Maelstrom Pulse or Dreadbore. I'm not sure which one's correct. Maybe take out like one Faithless Looting in case they have Thalia. if opponent's having internet issues over there, or if they're just not taking their sweet old time. We can't keep this hand, right? This is a good matchup, but this is just too... That's just asking to get burned too much. Huntmaster, a little slow. Guess I'm digging for like Anger of the Gods here. Tarmogoyf's not horrible. I'll preserve my life total a little bit here. See what we draw. Terminate another Tarmogoyf. So pitch Mire and Traverse ? Next turn, fetch like an Overgrown Tomb, maybe. Is definitely taking their sweet old time. It's been a long time since Budget Magic had mono white humans. So okay. Why wouldn't you attack there? Let's get that Champion of the Parish out of there. Our Tarmogoyfs can brawl with most of the rest of their stuff, so... Yep, Low Reaper, gain some life, sure. Okay. Like Brave the Elements or Path here is a little scary, but okay. If their last card's Brave the Elements, we could just be dead here. So I should fetch Stomping Ground. Hope we draw either Anger of the Gods or Golgari Charm. Obviously Golgari Charm would be the best draw right here. So we're dead regardless of whether we fetch here or not, so I'll go ahead and get a Stomping Ground. Set us up the best to Anger of the Gods next turn. Shriekmaw. Kill one of those, see if you have like a Brave the Elements here. Probably not. Alright, so I'm dead if you have Brave the Elements. I mean, about all I can do here. Got another Glyph. If you have Brave, I'm dead, so if you do, you do. Looks like the answer is no. Alright, let's Flashback of Faithless Looting. See what your last card in hand is. Presuming a land from the way you've been playing. Wow. Okay then. Did not see that one coming. Yeah, that's a scary one. So is there any creature in our deck right now that would make sense to grab? Let's get Huntmaster out going here. Already used Shriekmaw, and I think I set it out Ballista, so this could come back to bite us. We might have to trade off the Huntmaster. Gotta start getting our opponent dead here. Decisions here. Am I even going to use Gideon? Okay. Awkward. What are even our choices here? Bunch of lands. Scavenging ooze. Does that get us out of this? Probably not. Play Tireless Tracker. So I do have another swamp in my deck, right? Yep. Play this out. Play that out. Okie dokie. So, Huntmaster will not die. I mean, our opponent wasn't just technically dead there yet. They did have access to Murray of the Elements as an out to kill us. So, I mean, we weren't 100% there to kill them, but we did have a decent chance. So, on to match number 5. I'd like to thank everyone for hanging out, watching this video on YouTube. My name is Dusk, or Duskblader, here on MTGO, playing a little bit of Promised and Jund. Deck I've been working on a little bit on the channel here and there. Each time we play it, we tweak it a little bit. One thing we just learned is Emrakul, the Promised End, the namesake card for the deck, it's just gotta go. Card's way too hard to cast. Can't think of too many situations we actually won that. That and Whip of Yerbos. It's a great card in theory. Probably a little too slow for the format right now. Kept it in because it was a great card against Burn one game, won us a match that we otherwise wouldn't have had no chance to win. But I'll be back in 1 second. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. Alright, we're back. So, anyways, as I was saying, this deck's got a lot of potential. I think in lieu of running Dark Confidant, in lieu of running Bloodbraid Elf, I realize those are both very powerful cards. This build has been very good so far in terms of being able to tutor for stuff and such. I think just these two cards have to go. Definitely get these tireless trackers in the main, maybe even put another tireless tracker on the board. Gotta try to figure out the graveyard decks, I guess. Or maybe that's just a matchup I'm willing to concede. So no play on turn 1. I guess we keep. Let's play out Overgrown Tomb, tapped and pass. Affinity. Alright. This could be a little rough game 1. Okay. Especially when Affinity has hands like this. Okay. Play a Grim Flare and go? Definitely kept a fairly slow hand against Affinity here. Yeah, Master of Ethereum I don't really care about. The heck did this target? Oh, okay. Moving on, because Shriekmaw can't kill non-artifact. Cool. Alright, that was awkward. Alright, well, let us get, once again, Emrakul out of the deck. Whip out of the deck. Leon of the Veil, not great in this matchup. Definitely want Anger of the Gods. Definitely interested in these Kulagun's commands. Golgari Charm might be okay. Get this Shriekmaw out of my deck. Get this Courser of Crucifix out of my deck. Get these Tireless Trackers into my deck. Anything else? Bitter Blossom. Probably want the second Bitter Blossom, especially on the play. Any cards? Pulse might be a little slow. Try it like this. I can't keep a hand like this in this matchup. This hand isn't great either. Bottom that. Reaching Ravine, go. Inquisition would have been nice last turn. Problem is, there's a decent chance like our opponent has a pretty good payoff this turn, or multiple payoffs, so guess we kind of hope for like Anger of the Gods here. Steel Overseer, that's an annoying one. Yep. Wow. Okay, we really want to kill spell or an Anger of the Gods, like now. Tireless Tracker. That's exactly what we wanted. Huh. Well... guess I have like one turn to draw Anger of the Gods before we're pretty much dead. Wowzers. Huh. Yeah. That seems appropriate. Frustrating, but appropriate. Alright, so on to the deck. This deck does consistently put up 2/3s. Get this Emrakul out of here. Get this Whip the Vierabos out of here. Move these Tireless Trackers into the main. What else can we do to switch some stuff around here? think Courser is a sideboard card at best at this point. Without the need for like getting the card, well, yeah, without the need for getting up to all of the creature types or all the card types, probably can safely move that to the sideboard. Maybe it's Bitter Blossom. One of Blizzard Blossom can get us out of some weird circumstances, so sort of a Revoker seems too niche. The Warren's weirding might be a little too cute now. I think the first thing we're starting with is 2 copies of Ancient Grudge. Because as a Jund player, I should not be getting run over by... as a Jund player, I should not be getting run over by Affinity that badly. But obviously, this deck had weaknesses in its design the way I had it. Couple Ancient Grudges in here. Looking at the sideboard. These cards are fine against burn. Brutality is fine against burn. What should the last slot be? It's supposed to be out like a Fulminator, or is it supposed to be like a Graveyard Hate piece? Second Scavenging Ooze. Set another Scavenging Ooze in the sideboard for now. So... that should hedge some of the matchups we had problems with. Obviously, there isn't a whole lot of bullets now in the main deck. You've got the Shriekmaw and the Walking Ballista, along with the Scavenging Ooze. The Grim Flayers, the Tarmogoyfs, the Tireless Trackers are pretty reasonable. Yeah. I mean, I like Courser, Crewfix, and Huntmaster in different matchups. Courser's pretty decent against Burn, pretty decent in the grindier matchups. Huntmaster obviously saw the power of that against the Mono White Humans list. So thoughts on the deck. The first 2 matchups were just atrocious matchups. Mardu, Pyromancer, I think showed the potential of this deck to get into longer, grindier games. Mono White Humans is Jund being Jund, and then Affinity, I kept some loose hands, especially game 1. Game 2, we mulliganed to 6, kept Bitter Blossom. The one play that I think might have been a misplay is I wanted to establish Bitter Blossom. It might have been correct to go ahead and Inquisition there, because they only end up having 1 relevant actual card that mattered, although the Signal Pests and the various creature beatdown might have been enough without establishing Bitter Blossom anyway. So I mean, obviously I don't have enough sufficient cards in my main deck to deal with Affinity, so we were kind of asking to get punished with that. So I think this configuration moving forward is pretty close to where I want to be. Definitely one of the Tireless Trackers in the main deck now. I think the removal package is fine-ish. Still maybe considering like 1 Fatal Push over one of the Tarfires, But I still want to be able to establish Delirium fairly easily, because right now we have, what, 8 sorceries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 instants, 1 enchantment, 1 artifact. I guess another card that could be reasonable would be Engineered Explosives. I don't know. A lot of different configurations here with this deck. The Traverse package adds a little bit of flair to it. I'm trying to think. Is there any sweeper in these colorations that can hit? You can get with Traverse. I don't think there's any that are like on the lower end. Like nothing like Orzhov Pontiff or something of that nature. So I think Ballista is about the closest we're going to get. But I like where this deck is heading. Obviously, I made some mistakes in the 5th match against Affinity. But with draws like that, I don't know that it was going to matter. So, thanks everyone for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the ongoing process with this deck. It's a deck that I like. I mean, it's got a lot of, well, some amount of time to put into it. Finally cut the Emrakul, finally cut the Whip of Erebos. Tried to fix a little bit of the problems we were running into with a little more Ancient Grudges and such for some of the more affinity-based matchups. You know, obviously Ancient Grudge is decent against Tron. So, beyond that, thanks for hanging out. I hope you're enjoying us getting back into the videos. If you have any suggestions for this list as to like how I can hedge the matchups, I've kind of given up. I don't want to say I've given up on the Tron matchup, but the Tron matchup, I'm just like, try to hit you with large Tarmogoyfs and Grim Flares, hope we disrupt you enough. It's pretty much where I'm at. Like the 2-2 Liliana split, like the Tireless Trackers in the main now, makes the deck a bit grindier in some of the grindy matchups. I think these Ancient Grudges, combined with the Kolaghan's Commands and Anger of the Gods, give us enough play against Affinity and such. Collective Brutalities, Courser, and Hunt Masters should give us an okay, but not great burn matchup, because we already have Tarmogoyfs and Grim Flares, which can pressure them quite quickly. So, trying to think if we have like all of the angles covered. Like I've just accepted the fact that I'm going to struggle against the big mana decks unless I can establish a fast Goy for Grim Flare. Trying to hedge a little more against the graveyard deck. Scavenging Ooze as a second hate piece probably isn't enough to beat something like Hollow One consistently, but between that and Anger of the Gods, it might give us enough against Dredge. Ancient Grudge, try to hedge more against Affinity after we just got steamrolled so badly. Beyond that, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any Traverse targets. Shriekmaw, Ballista. Yep. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks everyone for catching this video on YouTube. And I will talk to you all later. Thanks.